So what I wanted to let people know that maybe nobody's making this connection, but here I am, and then we can all look into it. But see, the Neptune-Saturn conjunction that happens at particularly the degree of 0, which is the very beginning of the zodiac, right? It's 0 and then it goes to 365 degrees, pretty much. Each zodiacal sign has 30 degrees in it, roughly, so I'm pretty sure the math is right there. But anyway, I'm talking about this aspect that hasn't happened. Computer generators are telling us that it happened 6,000 years ago, and so I'm here to let you know what also happened 6,000, 5,000 years ago, 6,000 perhaps, it was emerging, is Buddhism. So here we go again, people. Buddhism is just a conversation between two very different types of people. And so with this conjunction coming up, see, it didn't happen but 5,000, 6,000 years ago. See, that's when Buddhism came up. Now, Buddhism is a conversation between two different types of people. This one type of person is the I am accomplished kind of person. They are, in fact, it is called enlightened. And some people are just saying, no, it's nothing hocus pocus, which in fact it's not. It's just extraordinary. If you start using your words right, like extraordinary means, boy, they even took a lot more crap out of it, and it is down to the vanilla ice cream, and that's it. Anyway, it's just a conversation, because how else are we going to do it at all? Do what, Shauna? Well, there is a movement here. If you want to know, I don't want to get too in depth with it right now, but I wanted to get back to this aspect that's happening that hasn't happened for 6,000 years. That points to me, it points at the movement of Buddhism. I don't want to keep looping now. Okay, so Buddhism is an attempt to keep into perception the fact that there's two minds here. There is the individual mind here that is a problem. They call that a disease in and of itself. No, mind and illness are synonymous over there in the East, Tibet. 6,000 years ago, by the way, they're saying, watch it, it's a disease when it thinks it's the boss and the only mind there, when in fact there is the mind of God. See, they do the capitalization over there. In your Sanskrit, it's happened. I'm getting so excited right now, I can't tell you. I'm not even wearing any pants. That's how much, I just didn't even dress. I'm one shirt and that's it. Capitalizing the fact that it's called a metaphor. A metaphor. See, the thing is that the population, most of them, especially in the United States and the West and whatever has been modernized into absolute spam, they don't know this little detail about the records kept. And if we're not careful, those records can just be burned and then a whole new version, and nobody is ever talking to anybody anymore. And that's the phenomena of Buddhism, is a culture that kept it going. It's still going in the East. It's known that there are gurus, but they get a bad rap, right? But no, they changed the word guru. Modern day India now calls them the good friend. It's important to know this. See how excited I'm getting here? Let me close my eyes a little bit more there. Because see, there's only two types of people here. There's people that are accomplished and they have become human beings. And then there are people that are not accomplished yet. They are the non-human. Narcissist is probably your complaint. It's probably why you've watched my videos. I attracted a lot of people just because of the narcissist content alone. And that doesn't have to do with just how excellent I worded it and the title that I put. No. YouTube there's a monitor here, and then there's the concept. Okay, there's the monitor. You have a monitor, but then there's the screen concept, right? So you were screened before, and really they're just making sure that enough people are born into this one-sided deception system that is going to communicate something far from the fact that you need to communicate. See, the reason to communicate at all is to kind of find out what the misunderstanding is about reality itself so they can shut up and just stay in reality. right? So that's why they kind of say, take your right to remain silent, but nobody ever questions that, but they have to use the right language. Even if it's English, there is still the correct language. It's there right in plain sight. If you knew, in fact, what silence was, what was in that word. Anyway, we see the word see, by the way, and that's just a quiet act of observing that everybody has access to. That is your deep, profound responsibility to use your faculties, to use the sky as your third witness party, so that you stay in access to your intellectual property, which is the planet Earth, and also keep your spiritual belonging, which as a human accomplishment, accomplished as a human being, just means that you have graduated as awareness. You're not a mind anymore. Now you're awareness. You're in the sky now. You're in reality. You are reliable that way as a human being. See, the world is just a big overflow. We suspect it's an overflow of, uh-oh, man, this is controversial, but I'm just going to say it, the too many. See, the word man inside of many comes up. Don't kill the messenger, babes. I'm not lying yet about that. And so your perception as a creative being, you're to kind of connect the dots about, okay, so it's already here. They're telling us what's up through the symbols. Sorry, I wanted to tell you about this fucking aspect. Computer generators are saying that it happened 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. This exact conjunction. Now, to me, in my perception, it's saying, no, that's the movement to get back to the better man, reset man into reality, outer space, the final frontier. I'm serious about the outer space thing, and also saying, no, that's God. Babes, if you want to know where God is, it's happening now. There isn't anything else you're going to find. I mean, you can see, this is what the Buddhists say, but this is also what Christianity points at. Christ Jesus was here to try to tell us something about eternal life and that we don't die, and so don't ever get into that illusion. See, the frickin' Buddhists would talk about illusion of life and therefore illusion of death, kind of a thing. And so there's a lot that has been contributed so far over history that if you just investigate these people that have helped us out. See, this is what we are supposed to do as sheep. Biological intelligence, the white, the red, the yellow, the brown, the blue, and the black race, all are designed to handle and successfully implement an intellectual property available to us all. But see, we have to all come together and do it right. See, it's not that the government has to do it for us. And so, I don't know if this is ever going to work for us, as the fact that communication is all we have. That's what the Buddhists do. That's why it's called just a conversation between two different people. And the phenomena, it's like a movie. The phenomena with the masters, your gurus, well, they just kind of sit there in their towel, right? I mean, a lot of times in the modern day, you'll see them. To me, I think they're being reduced more and more, and they're telling you, no, this is the ladder that you are climbing if you are to be a success, is to become more and more human. And somebody like me would say, it's strange how it kind of, you say woman, or woman, become more and more like the woman, because see, man wants to be in position of power. But see, it's not well known that women have position of power here. Yep, they're the ones who bring every bit of the civilization up or down in accordance to how willing they should be willing, right? Or not. See, that's the thing that is kind of missing. If we look at Buddhism, the statues there depict a person that is kind of heavy set, and no, those are the sets. That's a set of tits, and then the hair is done in a weird way. Yeah. So anyway, back to babes. This particular movement that's coming up. See, I am a leader, and it's like, no, I didn't just go through 12 years on Facebook saying, uh-oh. See, the only use. See, last thing I'm going to say, very short video. The Buddhists have been keeping archives of methods in which mankind will become enlightened. And we have to figure out, well, what does that mean? It's just how that they will become more and more acquainted with each other through having access to a medium called outer space. Man, it's hard to fucking just say, babe, reality exists here. It's that thing beyond the nose here, and that's what unifies us. See, when we say community, that's the only way you'll do it, is to communicate something, communicate the unity. All it is a celebration. That's all it could be. That's all communications can be, really. So what they found in the huge archive of the Buddhist monasteries over there, there's like a 50-mile cave or something that they keep writing down the methods through which that mankind, by the way, women are just like chewing their cud going, man, when are they going to figure it out? It's been thousands of years, you mean? Thousands of ears. Put the Y down and then keep the EARS up. That's fascinating, right? Just 2026 years. It's just 2026 years. Will you fucking mellow out, babes? Oh, man. What a mess. Look at historical counts of kings and queens and rulership over and it's just, no, there's just men and women here. And more, especially through Christianity, we see that somebody is being ghosted. That's a systematic rhyme. We're supposed to just accept there's a holy ghosting. Boy, and then the flip of education that starts to, and it shows out there that something is reversed and then missing completely. Yeah, if it's me telling you something that's missing vital, it's the one side of your spectrum in the speech that points at operations of things that is non-physical. It's pure science. God, this is hard. Because really, it's like, I've been taking a lot of time, some fucking 3,000 videos, and then it's like you have to hold seminars like David Icke 3 to 9 hours long, people watching and just hanging in there. And then, see, eventually, people get informed. But you see, I see how David Icke has hit a plateau. It's called being a man. That's just about it. I mean, sure. But who's going to dare say and talk to women and say, babes, you are the leaders here, especially if you're a leader. I mean, look at Christianity, which is just a story, and it's like that doesn't exist anymore. But look at the metaphoring there. Look at the wording. You know, whoever that person it was, they talk about the blood of the Christ, and it's like women bleed every month. Hopefully, if she's doing it right, she bleeds. She leads. Until that thing coming at her, whatever it is, I mean, she could go like this, whoops, next, right? Until there's one there that's worth carrying through the entire process of childbirth. Because now talk about just a celebration. Saying, oh, Eureka, we have converted, this is your religion, by the way, and I've talked about it before, and I'm serious about it. We have converted that man into a human being, humane, that he knows how to please a woman. I don't like this subject matter now because it's like, I didn't ever want to do this, but are you involved? Hello, women. Hello. Did you notice that you too can have an organism? This is about making sure that we're having a great time on this plane. Otherwise, what is the fucking use? Right, brother? I mean, people are just they're just searching for pacifiers amongst a maze that is not designed to help you focus on something that is worthwhile enough to say, now we're having a good time. No, it's all temporary means through which people are getting gratification, and also it is so flooded back to the too many that nobody knows the difference. They don't even know the difference between what has happened to music and what it's supposed to be. I mean, fool around like holy, wholesome shit. Like, you're supposed to be playing it together in your households. If not in your community, your neighborhood is holding something together. Together. See, but us here in the West, babes, this is the only way we hold our constitutions and our vortex together against a lot of attacking and warring, is that no, we know the truth of the way it should be. There's just a little bit of an off kilter happening, and do we really have to go to court to verify like which side of the fucking track are you people talking about? See, we're heading up into an era right now where it's possible that people like me, just Barbie doll, if she comes up with it and says no, I'm going to leave who out of it, and we're going to now start considering the how. That it's like wide open for the organism to start playing the very video game that they find themselves in, whether they know it, like it or not. They are holding a camera in their hands. I'm not saying to film everybody next door, but why not do it? I mean, aren't they your friend? And you should be going, hi, and then you fucking film them waving and saying, hi, would you like a zucchini? This is food. This is nourishing, by the way. What are you doing? See, I'm just saying that now, if you can relate with this, minute 16, any of it, it's very vague, right? Like, what are we supposed to, why are the protesters standing up? What's going on? Babes, we can round it out. There's just two types here. The Buddhas knew it a long time ago, and we're about to refreshen again. And I guess here's how unfortunately how it works for me. I'm way ahead, right? And I'm saying, no, this is the movement. Can you see it coming up? Nope, you have to change your language, bring it up, get back to the basics, just admit what you see in the English alphabet. You don't have to say, this is I come up with it. Nope, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. See the word every? You want to talk about every one. That word right there. Put the V down, keep the E. See, just find that word I. Yep, using the R reverse rule. That is telling you what is going on with the every. And I say that it's okay that if 7 billion of you don't understand it as clearly as me, but that's where I say I'm a leader. And by the time you guys start figuring it out and really see it's just the 100th monkey theory. Unfortunately, see, what we're looking at, babes, is a generation. We're looking at something that 20 years from now, this is going to make a difference. And a lot of us are going to be laying down and probably put to sleep already. But on goes generational value. A change could happen by having access to something more true and a foundation built on that. The truth. The truth. What is the truth, Shauna? Oh my God, you got to go to court. And if you can, babes, you don't belong there unless you know how to have a conversation about the truth. And that is exactly what Buddhism is. Buddhism is all about, like, explaining something that can't possibly be said. But they're going to do this amazing poetry that, in fact, gets in your head. And what it does is it starts to wiggle into your heart. And this is a very potent art that when it finally starts hearing what is available to all, it's not such a intense hocus pocus call. It's just somebody that stays centered and then starts to radiate. And then if you get miserable enough, it's like now you're going to medicate. Just with their words. See, a lot of times it takes this thing where now you are traumatized. See, and that's what they do over the media a lot. And that's what's happening with you already, though. So you have to traumatize yourself to learn something new and get it right, especially if it's worthwhile. If you're a kid, you're going through this traumatization all the time. See, they're kind of grabbing that fact of learning that the human being, it's trauma for the mind. You know, it's like you can't, see, the best thing to do is just keep yourself in the body, and then less and less trauma happens to the mind that stays out of views, right? You've heard that, views and traditional value and stuff. And I'm not saying that a certain practice won't help you. No, you have to figure out what practices have been here forever. Meditation, number one. because that makes all other practicing something useful. It's just the main practice is to be in practice all the time of meditation. And once you enter the real live meditation, what meditation really is, there is absolutely no reason to get out of it. See, there's a lot of faking going on. There is a lot of the fake. And we are in a place right now, I mean, excuse me if I seem exhausted, it's because I am. We are in this place right now where it's like, nope, take a break, wait, take a break. Okay, this is February 7th, and I'm talking about an aspect that's going to hit, and we're going to all be involved in this. And they're calling it, Edgar Casey is calling it the split. See, now I know what the split is. It's not Noah standing at the sea and he splits the sea. No, there's two seas now, right? There's the two-eyed blind, that they are limited in vision. In fact, they're not opened eye, so they are dancing to the pitch of a wicked witch digging in a ditch, and their song is very deceptive. They think that they're going up when they're really going down, and you can't fool the children, though. They see those smiles are really a frown. And so anyway, that's the two types that we're dealing with, babes. We're dealing with the people that work too hard for too less. They're working, actually they end up working to thumb down the energy that's rising. See, they steal from people. Basically they steal. It could be as easy as your neighbors over there that steals your accomplishment as just being a radiator of something, of the truth, that it does quality control. It's concerned for your own freedom. That's the bottom line. It's concern for your very sovereignty. That's what Buddhism is doing. It's saying, wait a minute, because they know that the mind is in imprisonment. But if you have gotten out of it and you've graduated into being awareness, see, awareness and the mind are diametrically opposed. See, that's the problem with mankind, is that their awareness is fully encapsulated in the mind. It gets that way very early through trauma. They're being traumatized through abuse. Now, getting to this part where there's boundary breaking going on. People don't know that they're doing this. They are abusing their children and they don't even know it. And it's the norm. And if you're outnumbered by these people that say, no, you have to spank your children and you have to treat them all these boundary breaking ways, which there's such a different way to do it. But they were taught that way, and it's a hand-me-down. And so all of this stuff has to come up, and it will, and it should, and it will. But if you get to the root, see, the Buddhists will call it, if you get to the root of the problem, which is the mind itself, and then you cut that root, they akin it like this. It's like a tree. It's not a very pleasant story, but this is the way it is. See, because if you don't cut the root, you're going to only go to the leaves that are problems, the leaves, the problems that arise, and then you're going to cut them and say, no, we can get rid of the problems as they come up. But then you know what happens to a tree when you do that. It gets more and more leaves. So what you have to do is you have to get to the root of the problem, is the mind. And when you cut that, what falls is called samsara, which is illusions. All of the leaves wither. And then all of the illusions and all of the mind falls. And what is left is, okay, so we have the ground. And if it's the metaphor, you look at the tree. But no, I mean, if it's not a metaphor, we look at the very nature of everything. We're seeing it as is. There is a passage from the eye to the heart that does not filter through the mind. And that's the movement that we're looking at, that it has to become more defined, and it will. Only through communications, you see. But there is a danger, and we're in the thick of it. We see it now. You know about Babylon, about how that's the Babel field. And it's like, no, there is so much talk. You're going to see that they're already talking about singularizing. They have hijacked every bit of how simple it is to just put this together. That in fact there's an organization here already, or otherwise it wouldn't be called an organism, right? This is in case, see this language now that I'm pointing at, that is an interfacing system sent from benevolent beings who live in outer space. The white race, it's not a race, it's an extraterrestrial, and they handle property of the air, which includes, it does include the mind. See, that's how they were able to be hijacked so well. And they were the first ones enslaved by something that had them going about and downloading information about how to do everything. See, you meditate, you download information about what, Shauna, what? Well, everything. Like what Tesla has come up with and all that. And Einstein, they don't talk about going to school and learning through academia. In fact, they call that the plague. I know my David Icke does, but you will by way of see, babes, if you know what meditation can do for you, just having a quiet time alone and reflecting. Of course, you have your hands on to something, and you're looping back into this place of knowing how to. Okay, meditation. There's like 100 fuck this fucking video. There's like 145 different states of meditation, but if you just can make the very first entrance, you never have to leave it ever again. This is the rise of the new man, by the way. This is the total reset that we're talking about. This is the rise of the new man who knows about meditation more than catering to the mind's fears, which has them running so fucking much. It's basically what it is. After all, that running, that world out there is just, hey, if you don't want to do the work it takes to make the mind be your servant, you can be a servant of the mind and come over here with us. And that's what's filling up. Basically, it's just, yeah, that's what's taking up all of the freeways and all of the slot machines out there, and just people, ego running for what? For mind itself, for the sake of mind. It says, the mind, if you let it be the boss, it says, I'm more real than reality. I'm more real than outer space. I'm more real than being just a simple presence, aware now. Kindness, truth, and even sanity. Beware means be aware. And see, I was about to end it now, but no, it's important that you know about the split. See, that's what, it's not splitting the C's, babe, not splitting the C. No, it's splitting the SEE. I've already talked about this, but here we go. And did you know, see with that, see, what outnumbers here, what is clicking away. I'm going to ask you women again, I'm going to say, well, how do you like it? Do you just throw your child to the system over there and then you're relieved because you have a narcissist? And what are you supposed to do now? I mean, how is it now? You probably moved to a tradition that was in place 5 years ago, just hardly 5 years ago, and then it busted apart, right? Something, see, now back to this method of traumatizing the mind, but you don't know. See, you should seek a therapist that traumatizes. See, this type of therapy is very controversial where no, if you have very poor programming, you have to go in and you have to find out where is the trauma at. Now, remember that video that nobody liked that I talked about the circumcision event that's still happening, that right there is trauma that the man's side doesn't remember happened. And if you can imagine how hard it is to heal trauma and insecurities that come out of having been hijacked like that and disfigured and all that stuff. And see, there's just tons of people, even women right now, would deny that that's going on. It's like, no, that's exactly what's going on. No, if you knew more about the body, you would know how to handle that. God didn't make a mistake there, putting extra skin there. You have to handle that shit. It pretty much like suggests that, well, you should handle the penis early. Yeah, it does. It says you don't just leave it and they're now like completely ignorant, like women are rendered completely ignorant about their bodies. And this is like it's a matter of your very organism. You know that word. Put the in and the in and the I down. Sorry, you should know this by now, but you will. I have a tendency to stick because it's, first of all, it's a breakthrough. And people are like, you know what? I am uncool unless I just fucking see it. Really, you are. Like I say, if you can't see the word orgasm in the word organism, and two, if the sheep can't validate, well, you know, I don't know what an organism is, but I sure know what an orgasm is, and they go traipsing off into the sunshine together and hide behind a rock. How it actually happens here that you get an organism? Well, the instructions are on the box. You don't even have to brush your hair. That's a myth. Just make sure you're having a good time. Or don't reproduce that. Yeah. No, that's a basic. But see, my theory is, okay, fuck, where does this come into the Buddhist monastery and everything? I don't know. Good. You know, send them to the monastery and make them teach something very useful, controversial even. They're always fighting over there by Tibet. They're trying to shake them out of place. Don't teach them about the devil, because then we can just discard God. And anything goes. It's a big fucking wreck out there called anything goes. And it's like, oh my God. Enjoy your mud water. So anyway, there's lotuses out here, and we're trying to rise up. We it's not trying. It's just without a try, we're gonna be like, it's not as easy. See, you go down the rabbit hole. It's the real life rabbit hole when you start encountering, you women, when you encounter the part of the organism that is not in favor of its own evolution and its own possibility here. It is geared. And that's what I was pointing out recently too. It's like, oh my God, that's funny. The organism is turning on itself, and then the women aren't saying, oh, excuse me, time's out. I didn't plan on that happening. Let's go over here and regroup. Masturbate, have sex with each other, and do reopen up the event of practicing your own medicines, foods, which includes, I don't know how to call the birth control. They call it birth control. But it's not safe sex because, see, that's the thing. I hope you're getting this. I hope the children are watching this. Babes, I hope you're a woman and watching this. Did you make the place of sex safe first? Because, well, first of all, you don't want to go there, right? If it's not safe, you're like, wait, fuck that. Don't have kids before you do that. Make sure it's consistently safe. We mean safe means, babes, that you want to go there. You're actually looking forward to it. You're like, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's like, man, you're like, this guy knows me. He don't talk much, but he sure does know how to use his tongue. It's amazing.